Hello, my name is Dr. Hatfield, and I'm here today to introduce you to the Advanced Language Concepts. This is an online course, and before I begin anything, let me kind of share some information with you. There are some pretty important pieces on here. First of all, I need to share this. If you get a chance, look at the cheating, the plagiarism, falsification of documents, that kind of information. Being an online course, it's very difficult to maintain the integrity of the course. So what I like to do is make sure that the students are aware of this cheating document that I've created here. Also, let me kind of introduce you to the dates. You can see that this course in particular week 1 starts on October the 12th. It's not October the 10th, which is the original starting week. It actually starts like on a Tuesday. So the week start for this particular class is Tuesdays, and that's supposed to be original meeting dates. However, you can see as we go down here, the ending date will be on a Monday. And what happens if you submit a late assignment or assignment that's late? I usually deduct 10 points unless there's a really good reason not to. Like if you would submit a document that's due week 1 on October the 19th, typically I will delete 10 points for the late document. So try not to submit any late documents. This is not that difficult of a course. So I don't expect that you're going to have problems. I have essentially two kind of projects. I have a test, and then I have a project-based learning assignment that I'm going to share with you just in a moment. But notice the dates here, and of course we're going to have our Thanksgiving break on November the 21st through the 27th. So, and as you scroll down, you can see in our last week is week 8. There's really nothing assigned in that week because the week is so short, and the reason why is because you have a Monday and a Tuesday, and that's very difficult to try to get everything completed in that time. So this course officially ends on week 7, and I hope you understand that. Let me share with you some of the course content. You can see that you may not have experienced this with Moodle in the past, but if you look, you can see that these are collapsible titles, and you can see these like the course intro, article reflections, and forum discussions, and other information for the course, usually the weeks. The assignments, I tried to make it as easy as possible by providing the date that the items are due underneath that particular collapsible item here. Like you can see, week 1 is article reading assignments. I have these are the assignments that are due. You can see that educ, the secret to raising smart kids, and all I want you to do on this particular assignment, you don't have to do a reflection. But you do have to participate in the session. And I'm pretty sure, I think there are 4 reflections or 4 replies required for the forum discussion. And what I mean is you need to go and contribute 4 replies to each of the forum discussions that are there. And please don't, there's a really good possibility that I may not count your replies if they're straight up rhetoric. And what I mean by that, don't use like generalized blanket statements or rhetoric when you're answering or when you're participating in these forums. Also, don't use them when you're completing the reflections that I'm going to explain just in a minute also. But you can see that this is educ. The only thing that's required for this particular assignment are 4 replies in the forum discussion. So what you would do is just click on the forum, and this is what it will look like. And then at that point, you just click on the reply. Someone will have to start it out, but once it does this, you'll see the other members' names coming up. And I want you to kind of get into a forum discussion. And again, try to convince me that you read this document in these responses and replies. I'm not asking you to write a book. However, the very first thing that I want you to do, and I kind of share this with you on the next reflection because both are required. This is, are you not entertained? How to build a dynamic lecture, and this is a quick article. All these articles are really short, and you don't even if I think there's one long article in here, and don't spend a whole lot of time. You need to, as teachers, I'm sure you know how to speed read, so that shouldn't be an issue. But you can see that this is a really short article. All you need to do is read it. And sometimes articles are so short it's very difficult to come up with 4 replies. But I don't think you'll have a problem, especially when you're in discussion with the other class members. But this is if you just click on that link, it will actually take you to the article. And then this is the, let me kind of slow down just a moment. This is the article reflection Word document. This is where it's located. Now I'll click on this. After you read the article, what I'd like for you to do is briefly describe the theme of this article, or the thesis statement of the article. And you can see that right here. Let me minimize this window here real quickly. Briefly describe the theme of the article or the thesis statement in this area. And then as we go down, I had a professor, a Harvard professor, went to a seminar one time. I was really struggling on trying to discover how to reflect. What is reflection? And he said, everybody seems to make a big deal about what a reflection is. First of all, you describe the article briefly, 1, 2. I'm looking for at least 2 or 3 sentences when you're describing the theme of the article. And then from that point, what you would need to do is list at least one positive. And that's what he said. And now I was so blown away by that I kind of adopted what he stated and added to the way that I require reflections from this point. List one positive of the article, list a negative of the article, and if there are no negatives, or if you don't see a negative, you don't have to list a negative. But there should be 1 or 2 positives in the article, and like I said, don't use blanket or rhetorical statements. Make sure that you provide me with the evidence that shows me that you have actually read the article. And then a brief statement as to what you may have learned from the article, if you have, or you may want to kind of share with the others what you think is the best way to describe the article. So I'm very wide open when it comes to the reflections. Okay, after you get that, when you complete it, type it out, save it to your desktop or somewhere that you know, and then you click on this is upload for that link, and what you would do is you just upload the document to this particular space. I will go in, look at it, read it, and then give you an appropriate grade accordingly. And generally with this particular thing, I'm looking for, okay, let me just say this. I respect that each and every one of you are teachers and you have a busy schedule. And I expect professionalism because you are a professional. So really just your participation in this, I'm not going to challenge you. Challenge you other than learning something maybe, but I'm not going to really challenge you I'm not going to demean you or anything like that. I just want you to participate in the activities. And that's after you upload that article, then you're finished. And remember the 4 replies. And then you have underneath this, I have this is kind of required by our new SACS and CAPE standards. They're requiring us to do some unbelievable things now. Teachers have a difficult time in the classroom with all the new things that are coming out that you're expected to do and perform, and so are we, because as a college professor, we have to meet the same measures that you do now. It's kind of an unreal world, but this is one of those lectures or a discussion forum that I would like you to participate in. Remember, there's 4 replies, and then you're pretty much done. And then you'll see, if you go to, I'll share with you, there's a checkoff list that you can see that grow, and when you hit all of those, you know that you're completed. But you can see that I have DWEC, and then in week 2, I have, this is word walls, and what I would like for you to do is not just read the article, but in your discussion, what I'd like for you to do is scroll down these, look at these videos, and then you can make references to the videos and the other articles that you may see on this content of this particular Moodle site. So you can see that these are what I'm attempting to do is integrate vocabulary, the concept of vocabulary into this particular course, which is so vitally important. What is often said in the classroom is that what's the leading indicator of student success, and many teachers will automatically reply that, yeah, it's vocabulary, and that's so true. And you can see that on this one I have, this is the reflection upload for the early catastrophe, and if you look at this is a kind of a big article to read, but what I'm attempting to do is share with you some pretty important data on how truly vocabulary changes a student's success in school. And then you can see here is a forum, a discussion forum, again 4 replies, and here's a word walls reflection upload. Here's the article that you would read for the reflection article. Give it a minute to open up. This is Reading Rocket's website, but just quickly, and this is another really short article. You can see how quick it is. And once you read the article, then you do the reflection, and then you go to the word walls forum and do your 4 replies in conjunction with the other students in the class. So I'm going to go ahead and close these, but you can see at the very top here I also have some examples. Let me go back. I hope I kind of described to you about the reflections, where to download the reflection document and upload it to the particular site, and then do the 4 reflection forums. I hope you understand that. Let me start at the very beginning here, at the course introduction, and you can see that one of your projects is, and I have 2 things. This is an excellent video, but I'm so disappointed because there is a kind of a bad joke in the beginning, but it's the very beginning of the video, and I did put a content warning up. If you may be offended, just maybe start it about a minute or 2 minutes after the video, and you'll miss that joke. It's not a really bad joke, but I was offended by it to a certain degree, because as educators we shouldn't be exposed to that. But Andrew Stanton is an absolutely wonderful storyteller, and that's one of the assignments options. There's 2 options you can create. I'm looking for a response to literature, which I will explain a little bit in a minute, or I am looking for you to tell a story in the same way that Andrew Stanton would, or some of the other examples that I have on this particular Moodle site. But that's one of the assignments. You can get more detailed information by reading more of this information. This is something that I think that all teachers need to be exposed to. I kind of briefly introduce it to every class. This is learning module, the domains of learning. There are no assignments from this particular these particular links for the learning module. However, the learning module, the concept of the learning module is the most basic foundation for education, and you need to learn it. And you can see that this is essentially what it is. I briefly kind of give information on the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor domains, and how they affect the learning of a child. So, and that's a really brief thing, and you can invest as much time as you want to in that, and if you want to post some of that information in the reflections that are available, you may do so, and that would be great. But there's no really assignments from the domains of learning, so you can kind of ignore that. But if you're interested, you may view it and work through it. It's a very, very valuable information to know and understand about in the educational process. But here are the assignments. First of all, the presentation of educational strategies. Let me kind of share that with you very quickly. This is create 8 educational strategies. Now, unless you've taken a praxis in SPED or math or TESOL and successfully passed that praxis, everybody in this program has to take a comprehensive exam. Now, don't fret over the comprehensive exam. It is an online exam. You have a 4-day window to take, choose any one of the 4 days in a 6-hour window during that day and complete the online comprehensive exam. It's not a difficult task. I think especially if I give you this information, you can see that this is essentially similar to one of the test questions on the comprehensive exam, one of the most difficult parts, and it's a 2-part question, and that's why I have 8 of these strategies. Now, at the very bottom, let me kind of scroll here very quickly. Let me go back. I'm getting ahead of myself. But learning, first of all, the strategies should include a learning disability in reading, limited English proficiency, and the economically disadvantaged strategies to help and support those classifications of students. And don't forget that each one of those components, or not all of them, but you need to have a few references to the integration of technology within each one of those. And does that sound familiar with your evaluations? Anyway, you have to do that. So that's the first assignment, and there's no exceptions. And I think that one is due. If I scroll all the way down, I think it's in due. Let me see, week 7 or week 6. Okay, this is the link, the forum. Now this is odd, but what I want to do is I want you guys make sure that don't plagiarize when you're copying these strategies. Use your own wording. Don't plagiarize when you're copying and pasting these strategies to this website. But I'm looking for 8 strategies with these variables here located. And what I would like you to do, and we're going to try it. If it doesn't work, you can email me, and then I'll open up another forum so that you can just upload the document too. But what I want to do is, if you upload the document to me, the other students can't share that information. So I thought that this would be a great opportunity for sharing these strategies with the other student. And I promise you, by doing this will save you an enormous amount of time during your comprehensive exam. So, but here is the presentation of the what I would like for you to do is click on the reply, and then copy and paste in a Word document the information, and copy and paste to that to this forum. And let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, we'll try an alternate route. But I'll kind of keep an eye on it. Some of you may want to finish this very early on, and you're more than welcome to do that. But you essentially make sure that you use appropriate APA. Make sure that, and I think I have it a little bit greater detail what my expectations for this is. Make sure your spelling's correct. Make sure you use APA, because that's what's required on the comprehensive exam also. So, but you copy and paste your entire document, not the document, but the text within that document, onto this particular forum, and we'll see if everybody can see that. And I'm pretty sure that it will work, because I've copied and pasted many things onto forums, and so I'm pretty sure that it'll work. But this will be the first time we attempt this, and it's for your benefit, so that you may look at this information, and hopefully it'll help you in your comprehensive exam and some of your teacher evaluations also. But that's the forum. That's the first assignment. Please be careful and don't plagiarize some of these web links. It's too easy to find, to do a search to find out if you didn't paraphrase properly. So, but that's that assignment. The next assignment is week 7. This is kind of complicated, and it may be a little bit extensive. And what I would like to share with you on this assignment is this is a response to literature assignment. What I have here is you have a few options. First of all, you can do a tabletop movie. Now, if you've had one of my educ536 or 571 classes, you've had the opportunity to make a tabletop movie. There's a big difference here. I was interested in the process in the 216 or the 571 class. For this particular class, and that is a technology class, for this I'm looking for a true response to literature. Pause just a moment. I'm not looking that you reading directly from a book. I'm looking for a response to literature. And I'm sure that you as teachers, anybody can do that. Now, if you are a science teacher, respond to literature. If you're a math teacher, there are some wonderful opportunities to respond to some of the literature that's provided in math classes. And I would love to see, English language arts teachers, it's not an issue. You can do just about anything. But I did give some examples. Here's an example. That's the true response to literature. I gave some examples. Here are a response to literature. I have an article here. This is an article, Death by Landscape, and it's kind of odd, but this is truly, this is used in Southern California. This is a paper that it's on their reading list, and it may scare you, especially if you look at some of these videos. And this is the interpretation. This is a true response to literature from the kids the actual students who did this, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking that I'm not testing you on your response to the literature, but what I'm looking for is that you might integrate this into your classroom at some point in time and use it. But these are two good examples. Now these are very short videos. I would like to have about no shorter than a 3-minute video that you create on Death by Landscape, and I'm looking, it'd be really nice to have the title. I think I have some perfect examples of Movie Maker that you may use on your laptop. If you have a Mac, you can do that. You can work in groups of 2, or you may work individually. It's not an issue. So, but that's the response to literature forum. And what I would like in this particular forum is I would like for you, after you create your video, upload it to YouTube. You may have to create an account in YouTube to do this, and make a link from the YouTube site into the forum. Again, this is so that the other students may see the video that you created in work. Of course, week 8, I was told you it's too short, so we're not even going to consider having week 8. So everything should be turned in by week 7. And if I scroll back up to the top, week 7 is no later than December the 6th. That's the last day that I'll give you to make sure that you turn all your assignments. So please look at the assignments first, because those are kind of until the other things work through this course are not that difficult. They're just reflections and replies on forums. So, but these are the 2 things that should go throughout the 8-week course. So on the very first night that you get this, especially if you're going to be in a partner situation, please work together and start immediately and coming up with an idea or a plan. And this is something, if you're interested in doing this with your students, and I noticed that here's a perfect example. This is, if you watch this video, the duo interpretation, I think that this is a really good opportunity for storytelling. And if you direct this with your students and you have them produce some videos, take the best video that you think that your class produced, and you may use that as a grade, because I think that would be a much harder, more difficult task than you doing it on your own. But it's a great opportunity for these students to, and I think it's the new age of learning, and I really love it. So, but that's a duo interpretation. Students may do that. And let me go back up to the top. One of the options that I'm proposing is that you may do a tabletop movie, and I think I've described that enough, hopefully. And if you're not, I'm able to answer any questions. Or secondly, that you may do a storytelling episode. Again, don't read it from the book. I'm looking for an interpretation. Watch Andrew Stanton, and then you can see also have this. These are some other examples. You can see Response to Literature, Walk by Two Moons, and these are really good. Oh, forgot to mention this one. This is my favorite tabletop movie making episode. This is a great one to watch. This is a perfect response to literature. It's not reading from a book. It's an actual interpretation of the literature, and I hope you understand that. Okay, so those are the videos. Please watch those. These are a perfect example of responses to literature. Remember, that's what I'm looking for. But back to the storytelling. The storytelling is a little bit different. What I'm looking for is that you can stand in front of an audience and captivate that audience using your storytelling skills. And again, I'm not looking, please don't stand in front of the camera and read directly from a book in that story. I'm looking for a true response to literature. You can see that if you watch the police officer with the New York City police officer, let me scroll back down to the bottom. Hope that didn't make you sick. But if you watch this video, any form of storytelling, is acceptable to me. If you're in doubt of the story that you may want to use for this particular course, if that's the route that you choose, that you may make sure that you contact with me if you think it's way out there. Just make sure you contact me so that I can approve it beforehand. But any book that you may want to interpret is fine to use. You don't even have to ask on that one. But some of these stories, here are some other examples. Storytelling speech example. They're absolutely great. But I'm looking for those. And then the final option, one of 3 options, is that you're familiar with a flipped classroom. And in a flipped classroom, what I would like for you to do is tell me how a concept in ELA, math, science, any subject will work. A concept that you're trying to impart or relay to your students, and that will work. I'm looking for, click that, didn't mean to, but I'm looking for, first of all, a response to literature, a tabletop movie making event that is also a response to literature. Don't read from a book specifically. You may get your students to create a tabletop movie making as long as you direct it. Now I am looking for the credits and the introduction title on your video, and I guess, let me see, I think that's pretty much covers everything that I'm absolutely looking for. Oh, let me share with you the checklist. This is the checklist. Some of the items will automatically be checked off as you go through the process. But as you complete some of these, you may have to check them off. And this counts as a grade. If you don't check something off, and you see your grade, and like if I go to my grade book, this is what the grade book looks like. Let's see, course administration, for me, it may be different on yours. And then you go to grades, and I see all the students' grades here. So this is kind of, you can see each one of these. You can check your progress as you go through. Remember, if you do 4 replies and they're acceptable, they're not, that means they don't fit in the category of rhetorical or blanket statements, you'll get 4 points, which equates to a 100%. So if you go down here and you look at one of your reflections or your forum discussions, and you see that you may have a 75%, well, hey, listen, maybe one of your replies didn't get approved. Just simply go back and do another reply so that I can give you credit for it. But this is the grade book. Make sure you check your grade book periodically to see your progress as you work through this program. That way you won't have any questions as we work through it. But that's the checklist. Let's see. I'm trying to think very quickly if I have any other information that I haven't covered. And I think I've pretty much covered just about everything that I need to let you know. The syllabus, I think, is pretty current on here. So if you don't, if you need to contact me, my phone number will be listed on the syllabus. You can text me, email me, any way that you need to get in contact with me, please don't hesitate. And I think that's pretty much it. And I hope you the greatest success throughout this course. And thank you very much.